Hi everyone, it's Bobbie at the Paper Jungle. I have a new project for you. This is using the Gentlemen Fleur, an exclusive collection from Country Craft Creations. This is a design team project, and it was the most beautiful paper. It's hard to find something really masculine, but this one just really fills the bill. I only had the 8x8 pad. There was no cut-aparts, no embellishments, so I used a lot of Tim Holtz metal pieces. Some I already had in my stash, and this is one of them, the lock and key, and I just used a little white baker's twine. And these letters, gosh, I don't know how long I've had these. There's a ton of them in a package. I've had them forever, so I just picked out the DAD and glued that on the front. I did not want any flowers or lace or anything girly girl in it. I just want it to be for dads. So I used the design paper, and I used a punch that I had in my stash that gives you this notebook edge, and it just goes around to the back. Very plain and simple. The album measures 8 by, and now I'm not sure, let me see, 8 by 5.5, and I think it's 1.25 inches. No, it's 1 inch with 1 inch spine, and it is a quad folio. So when you open it up, you have these two shorter panels, and they'd be fine for photomats, but I haven't added anything to them. And then when you open it out this way, and I know you can't see the whole thing at once, so I will show you one side at a time. So I used that punch again, but to keep it from getting torn, because these are so fragile, I put a piece of acetate behind the edge of it. And then I have a photomat in here, and I just used a crosshatch pattern on it. And I made this little folder with one sheet of the design paper and some Tim Holtz Ephemera and a little piece of, it kind of looks like wood grain or leather, and I've had it in my stash forever, and I just use little torn pieces a little bit at a time. I think one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper has lasted me about 3 years. And then on the inside I just put some of his ephemera, 3 little girls, some of the tags, and things like that. Just made a little pocket. Then on the inside, the left side of the cover, I have used 2 of metal leaves that I had and a bicycle, and there's a magnet behind here and behind here. Then I used some photo corners that I had in my stash, and I did a little splatter with some ink. And I loved the blue with the kind of a burnt orange color. And I had these enamel dots left from another project Tammy had sent me a while back. I used some more photo corners here, and then this one lifts up, and you have a pocket with a photomat. And in this pocket you have 3 photomats, but I made a clear pocket so that you could see the paper. I didn't want to cover it up. He kind of looks like a doctor. Maybe he's a scientist. This says Dictionary of Arts and Sciences, so maybe he's a scientist. I don't know. But I have 3 photomats in there. So it closes like that, and it has a magnet. So then when we go to the other side, we have a pocket over here, and I made 1 photomat out of the design paper. And then this little folio is just made from a piece of scrap. And it just makes a little notebook. And this twine was from a Craftology box that I had some left, so I used that. And it just opens like this, and you have your little notebook here, and then you have a tuck spot in here where you can put something. I was going to put a little small photomat, but I forgot to make one. So it closes up like that. And round and round. And that is that. And this one has 6 photomats, or 6 places for photos. You have 2 here, Opens with a magnet. Now because this one barely overlaps, it's not enough to get a magnet. So my magnet is in this piece. So I used the design paper here. I love that little stopwatch. And then this one says, have an open heart. This one says, start doing things you love. Again, I splatter painted with the ink. I have a pocket here with 2 pieces of Tim Holtz Ephemera, but you could put a photo mat in there also, or attach one to the white. Here you have 2 more photo mats with a piece of the design paper. 2 more photo mats. It says, go where your heart takes you. And I used the orange enamel dots this time. 2 more over here. A large one here says, I'm happiest when I'm with you. And I put 2 little gears here. I didn't put anything on this one. I just thought it was so pretty. I just wanted to leave it like it is. Then over here we have 2 photo mats. And when you take these out, you can see that the blimp continues across. And you have another clear pocket. And I do show you in the tutorial how I made that pocket. It was really easy. Nothing to it, kiddos. So this one goes under here. And that's my little folio. Be a super great gift for Dad. That was my thinking on the whole thing. I just thought it was so pretty. I wish my dad was still here so I could give him something. But he's not. Anyway, here you go. That's my project. I hope you love it. And if you have a friend that likes to craft, I hope you will share this video with them. That will help my channel grow, and I would appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Hi everyone, it's Bobbie. Since you've made it to this point, you have already seen the walkthrough of this particular project, so let's make one together. What you're going to need for this project is 2 pieces of cardstock, and they are 10 by 12. Here's the 12-inch, and I have punched just an edge with an old punch that I've got in my stash. Let me show you what I used. I used this one. It kind of gives a notebook edge. I've had this for years. I don't know if it's still available anywhere. It doesn't even say what brand it is, but it just does this edge that looks like a notebook when you tore the pages out. So you'll need 2 pieces that are 10 by 12, and you can leave it straight if you want, or you can punch it. You may be using a completely different paper collection, so you might want different colors of cardstock. That's fine, whatever you want to use. I am using the Gentlemen Fleur from Country Craft Creations. It is this one. I just love the colors in it. Tammy sent this to me as a surprise with my last design team package. I had not asked for this one, but I'm so glad she sent it, because you don't a lot of times have masculine things, and Father's Day is not that far away, so I decided to make something geared for the man. So you will have 2 pieces like this, one for the front and one for the back, and you'll put them both in your scoreboard. Lay your 1-inch guide at the top, and then you're going to place a piece of lightweight cardstock that is 8 by 5. I think I said 5.5. It's on your cut list. It's 5.5. 8 by 5.5. And you put it all the way over to the left edge. I attached it with score tape sheets, but you can use whatever you want to use. My fingernails have ink and glue all over them, so please forgive that. I left just a little space between that 5.5-inch piece and then a 1/2-inch spine, and then I have 4 inches by 8 inches. Once you have those all down, take your guide out and score all the way around these pieces with your scoring tool, just to break down the fibers, and then score in between these. You'll do that twice. Then once you have both of them done, you will flip them over like this and like this, and then you will have your front and your back panel Now, the other thing I made ahead, just so I can give you the correct dimensions, are a, let me see, I think it's 5. Yes, it was 5 to start with, and I punched both edges. 5 by 8, and this is the winter gray. And it is going to overlap and become your spine. So these two pieces will fit together, and you will have your spine. About like so. There'll be a little bit of a gap up here, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. So once we have that done, we're going to flip these over like this. And this is going to fit on the outside. And I'm not going to ink this piece. I don't feel it's necessary. I am going to add some glue to this piece. And fold it down into this piece. And fold it down. And then these are going to be your spine. That will attach on the outside, like that. Now I want to make sure that I've got it in the right place, because I don't want to cover all this up. I just want it to be about like that. So I want to put, let me see, I think it's about 1/4 inch. Yes, 1/4 inch. So I'm going to lay this down, and I'm going to put this up at the top so that it's nice and straight, and I'm going to add glue to this. Actually, I need to get a little dot of glue on each of these tabs so they don't get torn. Okay, I'm going to put this down about 1 inch till I decide exactly if it's going to line up. And then I'm going to put this on the black line and this piece 1/4 inch off. And I'm going to line it up straight. Oops, I said 1/4 inch. Da-da-da. About like that. Come on, lay straight. There we go. That doesn't look straight completely. That looks a little better. Oh, wait a minute. It's not lined up top and bottom. Up just a hair. There we go. And that's too much of a gap. I don't like that. I'm going to do 1/8 inch. I still think it's too much. I'm going to make it closer. Just like that. I like that better. see if that matches. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, we'll do the same thing with the other one. Add some glue to this one. Okay. Okay, now let's line it up. There we go. Now turn it over and burnish that down. And there it is. Okay, so when we turn it back over, then we can fold on our score lines. Make sure your edges are lined up at the top and the bottom. That one's wanting to pull for some reason. There we go. And then this will fold under. Got a lot of album here. Okay. Okay, that is that. We turn it around and do the other side. This will be your album. The front and the back. So now we can open it out and we can fold all these under and glue them. What I want to do before I do that is I want to get a piece of score tape, 1/2 inch. And I want to go from this edge across to here, and cut that, and do the same thing over here. This edge. To here. Okay. And I want to cut on these score lines here. And just take out a little snip. Just a tiny piece. Just to take away the bolts so that when they fold, they don't want to buckle on me. Let's burnish this tape down like that. And this piece. Now on this we don't need all of this. I'm going to take about half of it out. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Doesn't matter. Okay, now just like when you wrap an album, let's roll these in. We need to cut up here. So that rolls all the way in. There we go. We'll come back to this. I see how my gray is hanging over. I can trim that, no problem. So let's glue. Fold that up. And these last two pieces on this end, and then we'll do the same thing to the top. Okay, cut up this one.
Hey, Nana Bird.
I'm recording, honey. What you need? Oh, where are you going? Huh? Oh, okay. I see in a little bit. Okay, there's that. Fold that up on the spine, and then this one. And let's burnish those down. Okay, so that is how that's going to come together. Now we're going to trim this and fold it under, but that's going to be your album. I got to trim that, or I got it a little bit long. That's going to be pretty. And I'm going to put magnets in here. I don't want to put a ribbon on it since it's for a man. I want it to have a masculine air. So that's what that's going to be. Alright, so I will do the top part just like we did the bottom. And then I'll come back and we'll add some flaps and flip-flops and doodads and all kinds of stuff. Alright, see you soon. Alrighty guys, I have cut the pieces for these two panels, and I wanted to show you, these are where I've punched this with the notebook edge paper. It's really kind of flimsy, so what I decided to do was to cut a piece of acetate like this. And on this one, I've already glued it in here, and I just glued it even with the top edge of these so that it would support them and they wouldn't tear. So I'm going to go over here to this side and do the same thing. And I just cut it about 7 7/8 by 1 1/2. And I'm going to put a little dot of glue on the top of each one of these little tabs. Just so they won't get torn or bent. And with it being acetate, you can still see through it, and it's really not even noticeable that it's there, since you can see through it. And I'm just going to slip it in here and put it right along the top edge of this little punched edge, just so that the wear and tear of putting things in and out doesn't tear them or bend them, and that will dry clear. So that's all there is to that. And then you'll want to angle cut this right here so that when you fold it under, oh come on now, glue down there. I need to leave it alone till it dries. And that will lay down like that. And I am going to put, what did I do with those little clips I had? Oh, there they are. I'm going to clip it down till it dries. And just press it into place. And then I have added my magnets. I've added one here and two here, so that when you close it, let me take these out till we get it ready to glue them here. And we'll do that next. I'll give you all the measurements are on your cut list, so that when you put it together like so, the magnets will hold it and you'll have your book shape. And that one needs to be glued down, but that's the outside of your cover. So let's go back to the inside, and on this I'm going to call this panel 2. This will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So on panel 2 we have a piece that is 5 by 6 1/4, and I have scored it at 1/2 inch with the 6 1/2 at the top, and I'm just going to burnish that. And I'm just going to eyeball it and put it at the top, kind of center as best I can. Okay, put it right up here, over just a little bit, and that ought to be about right. Center at the top. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of close. And then we have 5 by 5 1/2, and it is scored at 1/2 with the 5 at the top, and we'll burnish that. And it is going to go down closer to the bottom and over close to the score line, but not on it. Not all the way to the bottom. About maybe 1/2 inch from the bottom and just in a hair from the score line. Just like that. And we'll burnish that in place. And then we have one that is 4 1/2 by 5 1/2, and it is scored at 1/2 with the 5 1/2 or the 4 1/2 at the top, and we'll burnish that one. And that is going to go like this, so that you see all of these papers. So let me put some glue on that. Okay, tuck it under that one and put it just inside of that score line, just like that. Now these should stay in place without a magnet once I get the papers picked out. Before I get them all placed, I can decide if I need a magnet, but I'm hoping not to use one. So this goes down, then this one, then this one. Now we're going to move over to this side. Now I have 6 pages, and they're going to be 3 on each side, and they're going to alternate so that there's a 1/4 inch gap on each one, like that. This way, this way, this way, and this way. So I'm going to take the 3 on the left side and the 3 on the right side, and I'm going to attach them together, and then we'll add them to the book. I just think it's easier to do it like this. Now the first one is 5 3/4 by 7 1/2. Yes. And in order to get them perfectly lined up, let me move these 3 out of the way. You can lay them on your scoreboard. Like this. And then take your next one, which is 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. Burnish that one. And there should be a 1/2 inch difference at the top and the bottom. Like that. And we'll just glue them together with this 1/2 inch line. Okay, want that one to lay flat so I can line it up at the 1/2 inch mark. Make sure they're both in like that. And we'll burnish that one down. And I got a little overzealous with the glue. Let me get a okay. And then the third one is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And we'll burnish that one. And it is scored at 1/2 with the 3 3/4 at the top. So let's keep that lined up there. Let me burnish that real good. Line it back up. And we'll put some glue on this one. And we're going to move up a 1/2 inch again. So that one's going to be at the inch mark and the 6 1/2. There we go. That's those 3. Now we need the other 3. And they are 5 1/4 by 7. The second one is 4 1/4 by 6. And the third one is 3 1/4 by 5. And let's line these 3 up. So it should go from 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch, just like that. Okie dokie, 1/2 inch right there. And to 6 1/2. So that takes care of that one. And then we'll do this one the same way. And then this one will be at the 1 inch and the 6 inch. So let's burnish both of those down. And now we can add them to our book. We bring the book back in. This one will be right shy of this fold, right there. And we're just going to ballpark it from top to bottom. Okay, I'm going to turn it a little bit so I can see the top and the bottom. Make sure I'm that should be about right. This one is going to go on the opposite side. And the thing to remember is this is going to be shorter than that one. So you want to keep that in mind and line them up. This time there's only going to be 1/4 of an inch difference between the layers, as I've staggered each one of them. Okay, so it's going to go, yeah, I need to be able to see that. And where's my edge there? I gotta turn it around this way, guys, so I can see what I'm doing. It's up too high. And almost to the score button. There we go. I want to burnish these two down real good. So then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And see the graduated edges? That's how that's going to go. And then I'll glue these two down. I may end up needing a magnet. We'll just see as we go along. But I want to let these pages set up. Meanwhile, I can be cutting some papers and then come back and show you how I'm going to embellish it. But I'm going to close this up and this up, and I'm going to lay something across it to keep it closed, and I'm going to put my pin back in my glue, and I'm going to say goodbye for about 15-20 minutes, maybe longer, depends on how long it takes me to cut papers, and then I will be back. Okay guys, I'm back, and I want to do a real quick update here on what I've been doing so far. The past few days have been crazy to try to record because grandkids are in and out and in and out, and the dogs are barking, and people are in the neighborhood are mowing grass, and it's always some background noise. So while it's quiet, I'm going to try to get something, at least update you on what I've done so far. So on the cover, let me move my Tim Holtz Ephemera book out of the way. I was pulling out some things I wanted to add to this. Oh, and I lost some of these. Let me lay them aside. I just had a package of these Tim Holtz tiles, I had them forever, and I just spelled out Dad, put that down here, and then at the top I put a, and I've had these for years, I don't know where I got them, just a lock and a key, and I attached a little white twine and kind of looped it around so it didn't look like it was just hanging. So that is on the cover. I didn't put anything on the back or the spine. And when you open it, I added these two panels, and I put the mandarin, my colors behind it. And in this pocket, I added 3 of the little blue enamel dots, and they came from one of Tammy's collections, but I don't know which one. I save all of them that I don't use. And then I made a little folder, and all it is an 8x8 piece, and I folded it down and I just ballparked it. Let me see, and I can tell you what it is. 2 inches at the top and about 2 1/4 at the bottom, and I just inked the edges and overlapped it so that I would have 2 pockets in here. And you can leave these open if you want to use them for pockets. I think I'll probably glue them together. And on the cover I added a little piece of this leathery looking stuff I had in my stash. I just tore off a piece of it. I've had a sheet of that for years, and this is what's left. But it lasts you forever because you don't use a lot of it in one place, or at least I haven't. And I added some Tim Holtz Ephemera in one of his little small family groupings, a man with 2 children, a boy and a girl, and then I'll put some things in these pockets, and that will go in there. Then on this section, I don't remember if I recorded this before or not, so I'll go through it real quickly for you just so you can see. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Okay, from the collection I cut out this piece with the man on it, and there's a magnet behind there, and it's really holding these leaves in place, but I am going to glue them down. And it has a magnet here. I have to do the back sides, but I wanted to show you where the magnets were before I covered the backs. Then you have this one. There's the other magnet. Then this one lifts up. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to create a pocket in there. And I already have one on the other piece, so I want to show you that. So there's the leaves. They go there. They will. Oops, eventually. It never fails. You start recording, it says you got a full battery, and just a few seconds in it goes, oops, need batteries, and it shuts off. Never fails. Okay, so anyway, then we're going to go to this side, and in this pocket I have added 3 more dots, this time to the bottom, and I made this little folder. I think we went over this, but I'm not sure. And I just used some twine that was left from one of the Craftology boxes that Tammy sent me. And I made a little notepad. And there's a pocket down here at the bottom where you can put something in. And I'll fill it up with whatever. And it just closes like that. And I do want to put a Tim Holtz embellishment there, and I'll share that with you later. So let me get this wound up here. And over here I just put a strip of the mandarin with 2 small photo mats, and I put a magnet on the back of this one because it doesn't overlap this one very much. I couldn't put the magnet here, but I put it on the back side of this one. This one just has design paper. On this one I just used 2 strips of the blue, and the color will be listed in your cut list. And I just splattered with a little bit of ink. And here's your magnet. On this one I used a strip of the design paper with 2 photo mats. Same concept here, just larger photo mats. And then on the back, or the last page, I put 2 large borders here, and you can actually put photos here and here, or you can journal, whatever you want to do. Then on the back page I have a pocket, and I made the pocket out of the cellophane package that your paper comes in when Tammy sends it to you. So I wanted to show you how I did that. let's open this, and that will hold this top one down. So I want to go back over here and get this back piece out. I hadn't glued it down yet so I could show you. Got to find somewhere to lay this big dude. Okay, so on the back side, I am going to measure at 3 inches and make myself a mark. Let me get a pencil here. And we'll make a mark at 3 inches. And over here, also at 3 inches. Quit. Everything gets in the way when you have a small area. 3 inches right here. Now let me put a piece of cardstock under it so I can see my cellophane stuff. And it is right here. See, that's all it is. I just cut a rectangle from the package that the collection came in. And I need my 1/4 inch score tape. And I'm just going to put, where's the, there it is, from the 3 inch mark, which is right there, down to the bottom, right along the edge. And where's the next one? Don't see it. There it is. It's hard to tell on some of these papers. There's that. And a piece across the bottom. I should have had the tape on there before I turned on the camera and saved some time. But I didn't. And I think of these things after the fact. Okay. There's that. Now I want to line it up so that my acetate lines up with the 3 inches. And I'm going to take off one side at a time and fold the acetate over. And then I'll take off the other side. Oops. I said I would, but the tape's wanting to come with it. Orneriness. I burnished that down good, didn't I? There. There we go. Finally. And then fold this one over. Now I want to take my scissors and just trim at an angle like we do when we're making a cover. And you can trim out this little piece right here, the top half of that angle. Now, where's my 1/4 inch again? What'd I do with it? There it is. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached, guys. And I just want to put a little piece right here on the edge to catch that corner piece. And take the tape off of that. And this one. And we'll fold the bottom up. Just like that. And it makes your little pocket. And it doesn't cover up your pretty paper. So let's bring the album back in. And we can glue this in place. And then I have one other thing I want to show you before I finish up. I haven't inked this yet. Darn it. Let me take my jacket off. It's getting too hot in here with the air off. But if I leave the air on, it's a windy unit right by where I'm working. And if I leave it on, it makes too much background noise. When it's on, I get cold and I need a jacket, and then I turn it off and I get too hot. So sometimes you just can't win. I should have inked it before I put the pocket on it. Oh well, I didn't. Okay, let's glue this little hummer-dummer in place. Glue this down all over. And let's put this in place. Just a little bit that way. Oops. Where's my burnishing tool? Okay, there's your pocket. Well, there it is. Okay, so this one goes down, then this one, then this one. Now, on some of the embellishments, I didn't want to splatter all of them. And I was trying to, I'm not very good at doodling like some people do on their photo mats. They doodle all the way around, and it looks okay when they do it, but when I do it, it's a big old fat hot mess. So let me get a piece of scrap cardstock and I'll show you what I want to do. I want my scoreboard here to line it up. Whoops. I can get rid of this glue. I wanted to do some cross-hatching on it, so to speak. And get some of this stuff out of the way. So I thought what I would do, and I need a piece of paper so I don't mark all over my scoreboard. Oh, come on, it doesn't want to separate for me. I don't want 10 sheets. There's one. Okay, don't want to mark all over my scoreboard. So I was trying to do this using a ruler, and this is an old scrap piece that I splattered on that I'm not going to use. So I'm going to lay some paper here, and I'm going to use the smallest of these guides that Tammy sent, and take a fine line journaling pen and just go across like that. Oh, see, my finger got in the way. I got to keep my finger out of the way. Like that. And just line it up, and it'll be the same diameter all the way around, minus the finger mark. But I thought that would be real cute on a photo mat, so that's what I'm going to do on several of the photo mats that I made this morning. And I will come back and I will show you the finished project. You'll see that in the walkthrough. I think this is going to be the end of the tutorial so far as I know. Unless I do something that I feel like I need to share, then this will be it. So I thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this project. And I will see you back before too long with more design projects for Country Craft Creations. Thanks for watching, and be sure you head on over to Country Craft Creations to get all your craft supply needs. Have a good day. Bye.